What's up guys, this is Alex or H3 Games, and today I want to talk about my optimistic views on Black Ops 2, my pessimistic views on Black Ops 2, and basically just whatever I feel like in relation to the upcoming AAA title, the game that has arguably sold the most copies of any game series in the last 5 years, maybe ranks up as one of the most selling games of all time. It is Call of Duty Black Ops. Now, a lot of people, PC gamers especially, are pessimistic about Black Ops 2, and I'll explain why 2 probably more pessimistic than 1. By the way, the game in the background is Super Meat Boy, having a lot of fun, maybe getting a bit bored. I'll be switching up the content, maybe dropping in some Borderlands 2 and some Dishonored, so you guys can have that to look forward to. Anyway, back to the topic. I think a lot of my pessimism, well, let's first go back to the Call of Duty. Let's start with COD 4. So Call of Duty 4 was probably the best of the 4 Call of Duties to be released up until then. It was the only one of the only successful modern games out there. Definitely the most successful modern game out there at the time. And when I say modern, I mean a game based on Earth that involved real guns, that was not set in World War II. Now, the reason I say real world with real guns on Earth is because there were a lot of games that weren't really set in in a believable time. For instance, Halo, Gears of War, Mass Effect, Duke Nukem, Quake, stuff like that. They're not really set. They might be set on Earth, but they're not set in a modern time span. So Modern Warfare kind of changed the playing field a bit. It was a very revolutionary game and one of the greatest FPS games ever made, in my opinion. This is a multiplayer competitive FPS, not just general first-person shooter. And when I say FPS, I do mean first-person shooter, not frames per second, for any of you who are confused. Then we got World at War, which was for me a bit of a disappointment, apart from the famous Zombies mode. Then we had Modern Warfare 2, which was, in my views, a disappointment. A lot of people love Modern Warfare 2. Me, not so much. I kind of went back to playing a lot of Counter-Strike as a result of this, and honed my Counter-Strike mouse and keyboard skills, which is, if Modern Warfare 2 had not been so disappointing, I don't think I would have been able to start this YouTube channel based on a complete lack of skill from the keyboard and mouse. So thanks Modern Warfare 2 and Infinity Ward for being a terrible company. Then you had Black Ops, which was, in my opinion, the second greatest Call of Duty ever made. It was fun. The storyline, while not as good, was completely overshadowed, in my opinion, by just the sheer mass of content that we received for the entire game. Think about it, 4 map packs, and already you have a starting Zombies mode, a campaign, and multiplayer, and you can tell they spent a lot of time on a lot of the main components. Single player in a multiplayer based game, that being really its popularity lies in its multiplayer components. So that kind of is a secondary component. Zombies and multiplayer were amazing. They were really good, and I congratulate Treyarch for that, and for being a channel that is much better at responding to their community than Infinity Ward will ever be. Then there was, as I said, the Jason West scandal, where Jason West and another very high-ranking Infinity Ward employee fell out with Activision over a monetary dispute and left with a lot of the key kind of workers that were working at Infinity Ward at the time, and they went on to form a company called Respawn Entertainment, which I believe has not released its first game yet. I think they are still open. I do not think EA would hire a company and then just trash them before they release their first game. And it was a monetary dispute over the royalties of Modern Warfare 2. You can look into that. It's a pretty old story, but I think probably PC Gamer and Rock Paper Shotgun still have stories on it. If you want to know, you can look it up there. That's all I'll say about it. And then Modern Warfare 3, and that's why they had to use the same engine, because a lot of their key workers left and they did not have the workforce to produce a new engine and a brand new multiplayer game. So I believe Modern Warfare 3 has been the worst Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4. I hate Modern Warfare 3. It is one of the worst games that I've ever played in my life. Probably next to E.T. on the Atari 64, the Mario port on the Atari 64, and Duke Nukem Forever. Definitely Duke Nukem Forever. And here's why I'm skeptical about Black Ops 2. I want it to be good so badly. Call of Duty sales have dipped, and I want them to be a good franchise that will last. Call of Duty is a gem. There are tons of people saying it's crap. It isn't. It's fun, and although it can be a bit frustrating at times, it doesn't suck. And those who say it, they admit it's good. Even they will admit it's good. They just don't play it. Like, it's really easy to start playing something and be like, it's crap when you start losing, and then never go back to it again. But it's really not a bad game, and I don't believe there's anyone on this planet who will tell you that it's a bad game. So I really want Black Ops 2 to succeed. If it doesn't succeed, I can see the downfall of Call of Duty. Sales will start to dip. So the trailers look good. A couple downsides. For instance, the kill streak, some of them look it is a game that will require heavy nerfing in the future. I am sure of that. A lot of the guns and the perks and the tactical and lethal grenades and the weapons and secondaries, a lot of it is very imbalanced and will need to be nerfed. If you haven't already, you can pre-order it on Steam, get the special edition for $55. I believe it's $55, or the regular edition for $45. Getting the $55 version will grant you the map Nuketown 2025, as I believe a multiplayer and a zombies map, so you can be able to play on that. A soundtrack and some other things. You can check it out on Steam, links probably not below. Subscribe to me, Alex, or H3 Games, and Smash Club Gaming. Also subscribe to Keith for Prez, the owner and director of Smash Club Gaming. That's been H3 Games. Peace off.